So, welcome back to Kino discussion. This is going to be episode 2.
Hello, guys.
I'm so lazy. Episode 1 isn't even edited yet, so we don't even know if people like this or not. So,
Yep,
uh, sorry, been busy working on other stuff. It'll be out
it's
eventually.
okay.
So, next episode we'll talk
Happens.
about the reception to the first episode. So, yeah. Uh, I guess going off of recommendations from last week, in case you missed it, the movies are American Psycho 2, and Children of Men. So I think we'll just go ahead and start with American Psycho 1 because that's probably the one we'll both have the least to say on, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess you recommended it, so why don't you intro it?
Um. So American Psycho, I think, really just all it's meant to represent, all of its its only main message, under all of the horrible murders and shit. My bad for cursing. It's it's probably just capitalism in the 70s. It's just really just making fun of that culture and that lifestyle. That's pretty much the whole movie.
Okay. Okay. So I guess plot wise, it's about Patrick Bateman, and he is an
Mm-hmm.
executive at a company, and he never does any
P and
work.
P, P and P, baby, or something.
I can't remember. And
It's something in P.
basically, he's a crazy guy, and he kills people occasionally. But most of the movie is just him talking to business executives and just losing his mind over
Yeah,
cards
basically.
and what seat he's going to get
Shit that
at.
shouldn't matter.
Yeah. So, I guess, I mean, where do you even really start? Because there's really no plot to go off of. He kind of
No,
just,
it's kind of just him doing stuff, and he's like, "Hey, I need a reservation at this restaurant," and he can't get a reservation at the cool place. I forget the name
Dorcia.
of it. Dorsia, yeah. He just can't get a reservation at Dorsia because he isn't based enough.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, and then, I mean, what else happens in the movie? It's like him driving from one place to another, or, uh,
It's really sporadic because it's just kind of like day by day him living his life and then also going like, "Oh, I the urges are taking over.
yeah.
My evil malicious urges. I want to start killing in the daytime."
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I guess I'll just go through my notes because this is the movie I have the most notes of. Probably because I just wrote down a ton of
Oh,
a ton of just quotes that I found was really interesting. And scenes that I
okay.
really enjoyed that I'm sure we'll talk about. The first thing I have.
I was
Oh,
when
continue.
Oh, my bad. Well, all I was gonna say is when I was watching, I was trying to remember everything from the book because I read the book like a couple months
Hmm.
ago. It's not really fresh on my mind, but I would be like, "Oh, I remember that from the book," and "Oh, I remember how that was done in the book." It's something like that.
Okay. Okay. I still have yet to read the book, so I will though.
It's pretty okay.
Uh, I think I have an audiobook of it. I'll listen to it eventually or read it or
It's pretty
however.
good.
But yeah. Uh,
It's okay, actually. Not pretty good, but my
so,
bad.
some of the
I
some of the
digress.
some of the scenes I have written down that I really enjoyed is the opening morning routine dialogue or the monologue.
Mm,
I really like the way that's
yes.
shot and edited, and
Yeah.
it's just very interesting how it is compared to the rest of the movie. Because in all of the other scenes where it's like in the morning and he's like doing his morning routine, it's really like crazy and frantic. Like near the end of
Mm,
the movie, he's doing his morning routine and he's doing his workouts and he's doing it while the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is playing on the
yeah.
TV in the background.
Yeah.
And then
Basically.
there's also a scene where he's doing it at his apartment and he's like, what is he doing? He's I think he's like watching porn in the background or something. Like
Yeah.
it's every other time he's in his apartment, he's not. This entire opening monologue is just a facade, like the movie itself.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing is a facade.
Yeah.
His whole like apartment is just like, yeah, it just reels people in.
Oh, one thing I
Um
mentioned, or I saw on this viewing for the first time was whenever whenever he's going to, I don't think it's Dorsia. I think it's another restaurant, but he's on the verge of tears because he's worried that they're going to get a bad table.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I had noticed that one. I thought that line was really funny because
he doesn't Christian Bale doesn't like start crying and stuff. The only times he's like really shaken up was like the card scene.
Yeah. Which is that's the best scene in the movie. That, and then
It definitely
the
is.
scene where he talks to Jared Leto in the at the restaurant.
At the restaurant, yeah. And he calls him a loser.
Mm-hmm.
Back to like the morning scene. I heard or read something where it was like Christian Bale did that take like for the first try, like flawlessly taking off that face mask in like one rip without it
I think
tearing.
I've heard that as well. Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. Like he was really into it.
He's phenomenal in this movie. He sells it. I think
he does.
If it wasn't for him, the movie would not be a cult classic and it wouldn't be remembered today as well as it is. Like,
yeah.
Him and Willem Dafoe really are just great in this movie. And I mean, all the acting's pretty good, but they are the definite standouts.
For
the
sure.
scene where Willem Dafoe's character Kimball, he's grilling him on where he was the night that a murder happened, is so good because I don't know if you know this, but they shot it like, I want to say
I was about to bring up this.
They shot the scene 3 different times with him, like he knows he did it. He's kind of like, there's one where he's kind of like passive and he doesn't know, he doesn't want to go one way or the other, and there's one where he doesn't think he did it.
He's kind of like friends with them.
And they intersplice those 3 takes into the scene, so you don't know, you can never get a read on him. It's really great.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't think I saw Willem Dafoe that much, but on rewatch, the scenes that he's in are really good. I think it's like, it's the only time in the series where there's like actual consequence, because like most of the movie he's just murdering people, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, here's the detective guy, and he's really on him.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen to Mr. Bateman?
Another scene I have written down here is one of my favorites, is whenever he goes to the dry cleaners, and he meets, what's that girl's name? I can't remember.
Some random.
It's someone from his past, and they meet again, and he's trying to brush her off, but she won't leave him alone.
I forget her name. It's his girlfriend.
I thought,
right?
no, that's like his old girlfriend or like
ex-girlfriend?
ex-acquaintance or something.
I forget.
I don't remember. But yes, that scene is great. I think if you haven't seen the movie, I would actually just recommend watching that scene on YouTube. And if you find it funny or entertaining, go watch the whole movie.
Her name's Bethany, I think.
Her name's what?
Bethany? Maybe?
I don't know.
I don't
can't
know.
remember.
I can't remember either. I'm trying to remember, because if it's from his past, it's probably his ex.
Yeah, I just don't remember if that's ever explicitly stated or not.
No, not really.
But yeah, and then after that I have written down the card scene where he has a panic attack at the sight of someone having a better designed card than him. And then the next scene is him killing a homeless guy in the street. Which is the juxtaposition of that is, it's a dark comedy, and it's probably one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, because every time it always makes me laugh. Like it does that really like shocking, kind of almost like edgy style humor very well, I think. Because there's a lot of things that are said and done in this movie that, like, if it wasn't shot the way it was, if it wasn't edited the way it was, or acted the way it was, this movie would fall on its face, not only as a dramatic film, but also as a comedy. But I think it's just a testament to how good the writing and the directing and the acting and everything that ties it all together is, that the movie works and is a classic.
I think the movie takes like a more like it's like a more comedic take. than the source material, because the source material is like super melancholic. Besides, all the just murder and
Yeah, you've told me a little bit about the book, and it sounds
stuff
very
alike.
different.
It is very different, but I still like the movie more, I
Yeah.
think. In the just to like I don't know, compare, but in the book when he meets that homeless person, I think the homeless person's just this fat dude with a
Uh-huh.
dog in a park. And he walks up to the dude and his dog. He guts the dog, and it's like guts are all on the ground. He's like talking about how it's like whimpering and dying, and then the homeless guy starts like panicking. It's like actually like horrible to read because you're just there. He's just from a cold-blooded killer, just like analyzing somebody's like face and their emotions while he just kills them.
Yeah.
And it was yeah. I also read that in the psych ward too, so it made it even better.
uh yeah, another thing I've written down here, skipping a few scenes. The only time he ever feels panic after killing Paul Allen is whenever he sees his apartment for the first time and he realizes he has a better apartment than he does. I thought that was a very funny
Yeah.
touch. Um
Mm.
and then we talked about the detective scene. I've talked about him working out the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, I got to talk about my favorite line, and I wrote it down because I always mess it up somehow. But it's the scene where they're in the club, and he's talking to that model, or whatever she is, and she's asking him where he works, and or what he does for a living, and he says murders and executions, and then the lady just smiles and goes, "Oh, murders and acquisitions." I've heard people don't like that
Yeah.
job. I'm like, that's such a great line. I love that. I love that whole interaction between the
Yeah.
two of them.
I think in the book they're models from a different country, and so they
Oh.
like in the book it's a lot. It's like I think there's like a couple of
Uh
them.
huh.
It's like it's another like day in with like the group of his yuppies or
Yeah.
whatever. But the girls are just really stupid, and I think the movie does it better
Yeah.
because the book is kind of like very aggressive towards like women in
Uh huh.
general. It's kind of like one of
Yeah.
those. So I think in the movie she just goes, "You think I'm stupid, don't
Yeah.
you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Well, I like that." And then they like go
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. I think around that part I stopped taking notes, so I'm trying to think if there's any other scenes I want to bring up. Oh, the scene where he almost kills his assistant is a very well done tense scene because she's
Mm,
like one of the few characters I'm like, please don't murder her. She's like the only like voice of reason in this movie, like
only chill,
the
yeah.
only sane person. And the way he treats her is just so horrible. I mean, I expected her to die, but they don't.
Mhm.
So I'm like, that's cool. At least like
Hooray!
the one character I like made it out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess we can just go on to the final scene with
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much you could say about this movie that hasn't already been said. Well, I guess
Yeah.
we have some interesting information to talk about after this, but
Yeah.
so the final scene is him confessing that he killed Jared Leto's
Paul
character
Allen.
Paul Allen to some random we've never seen before, right?
I think it's his lawyer.
It's his lawyer, that's right. We've only heard his lawyer talk on the phone. We haven't seen his lawyer, I think.
Yeah.
And his lawyer thinks it's a joke, and they just don't care. Like, I've seen interpretations where it's like people think like, oh, it's actually a joke, or people think he's so high up in this company, and it's mentioned that like his dad owns the company or practically owns the company,
Mhm.
that his
Yeah.
dad is like, whatever, look, my son just does whatever, he's crazy, he's nuts, just keep him employed, whatever, who cares. It's like all like a cover up to keep him there. But
Mhm.
I really like the final monologue of him trying to find some kind of he wants some kind of punishment for like all the terrible things he's done,
Yeah.
and he doesn't find it. No one cares. Like,
Yeah.
it,
I really like it. Like his the way that like the internet interpreted him, like when when they found the movie, is like an anti-hero, like uh against society kind of guy. He's just so chill, and the whole like point of the movie is that he's a loser.
yeah, yeah,
And it's kind of funny to me, especially with the ending. I think the book is the exact same thing, but it adds something. I think it's like there is no exit is something like is it there's like an exit sign or something somewhere that says that, and that's like the end of the movie, the book.
okay,
And it's
okay.
like the same thing.
All right. Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about the big spoiler of the movie. The only really thing you can spoil. So uh did he do it? Did he not?
Did he? Did he?
Did he do it?
I think he didn't.
I don't think he did either.
I think Paul Allen was just a big fantasy.
Yeah.
I feel like it just makes sense for it not to be true. But a lot of his other murders, you know, they work. Some of them do.
I don't think he killed anybody.
You don't think he killed anybody?
Nobody. Which is why I don't like
Nobody.
American Psycho 2, which we'll get into here in a second. But I don't think Patrick
Okay.
Bateman has the balls to do it. I think because the whole movie is from his perspective, and it's like this unreliable narrator, right? And everyone in the movie is like, Patrick Bateman's a dork. He would never do it. Everyone hates him,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't
That's
think
interesting.
he would do it. I don't think he has it in
I
him.
mean, it would make sense, but I feel like some of the murders were, did happen.
Yeah,
And
like the
his,
homeless
his
guy.
like position in society, like directly, like, I don't know, helped him completely dodge any way of getting punishment.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know.
All right.
I wish, I wish I could pull out the Sparks notes and be like, well, here they confirmed this kill by saying it, but I really don't know.
I was trying to pay
I think
attention
it's up
on
for
this
interpretation.
on this viewing, and I don't think they ever directly, because what makes me think it's all like in his head is the end where you see like all the drawings and stuff and how he's fabricated all of these like murders in his head, pretty much, and a lot of them correlate with like murders in the movie. Specifically, the one with the chainsaw flying down the
Yeah.
the stairs.
That I don't think was
That's
real.
not real. Yeah, that one didn't happen. Yeah, he didn't shoot the cop car like twice with a handgun and it blew up.
Yeah.
Like so many of the murders just don't work. But it's a movie that I think it has a really good ambiguous ending because I can definitely see where it's like, yeah, I think he could have killed Paul Allen maybe, and he also could have killed like one other guy, because early.
But it don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to the point of the movie, but earlier in the film they do mention that like someone else technically sees Paul Allen in London, but it's a different guy, so it's entirely possible his lawyer saw a different guy, and it's kind of commenting on this nature of how all these businessmen at the time are essentially just like. They don't really have a personality of their own.
Mm-hmm. Well, really, all like in the book, they it's sometimes like annoying to read because he'll go in depth out of like every single article of clothing that somebody is wearing, and so it's like. They're so rich because they have Louis Vuitton and that Gucci Louis and that $3 logo, and he's just like going on and on and on. And there's not that much of that in the movie, but there's just a lot of like greed, and I lost my thought, but
yeah, it's I mean, I haven't read the book, so I can't really comment, but it's something I'll do eventually. It's on the bucket list. I'll read the book one day.
It's kind of rough. There's one like like murder in the book that so in the movie there's the scene where he holds the nail gun to that girl's head
Yes.
and he gets a call. And I noticed that on the phone when he was calling his lawyer, he said that he killed her. So they didn't show what he
Uh-huh.
did, but in the book,
Well, he didn't kill her. That
they
was his
go,
assistant. His assistant's alive at the end. She discovers the stuff.
"Oh, that was his
Yeah.
assistant." Oh, well, he said, "Okay, I thought wrong." But he does mention that he killed Bethany, like on the phone. I picked that up.
Okay.
So I guess they just straight up just kind of said that. I don't know, but in the
But
book,
whenever because
there's
wasn't
like,
Bethany's body
yeah,
in the room that he goes back to? Because he heads back to that room where there's they're doing like the open house for the apartment or whatever, and he's expecting to
hmm
find the corpses there, but they're not.
yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah, I don't think he did any of
Yeah,
it.
just the Bethany chick in the book, she gets done dirty,
Okay.
and it's very horrific and graphic and just not great.
All right.
So
So yeah.
just know what he did with that nail gun was a billion times worse than the book.
Okay. All right. I guess if you're I was about to say if you're done with American Psycho, we have breaking news. And it won't be breaking by the time it's here. This comes out.
Yeah.
But as of the recording of this video, about a day ago, there has been an American Psycho remake announced by Lionsgate. It's going to be directed by Luca Guadagnino? I don't know how you say his name. He did Call Me By Your Name, the Suspiria remake, and I believe he also did Challengers, I think.
Oh, it's gonna be his movie.
Yes. I think that's the same
Okay.
director. Let me double check. It is. Yes.
That's interesting.
And I haven't seen
That's a good director.
I haven't seen Bones and All yet, but I've heard that's great. Let me put that on the list for a possible recommendation in the future. All right. So,
True. Do it.
I guess. Oh, it was also reported that it is going to be more based on the book, supposedly. So I'm just curious on your take on like a modern reboot of American Psycho or remake.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be modern. Do you think it would be
Well,
modern?
I meant like modern filmmaking.
Well, modern is in like modern filmmaking. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so the director I've heard is really good.
Have you seen any of his movies? I don't think you have.
I haven't.
Okay.
I just know that people really like him.
Okay.
I don't know. I think some parts of the book are really like mesmerizing in like a weird way. Like I hadn't read in like a really long time. And so when I bought American Psycho, it was one of like the first books coming back to like just kind of reading by myself. So it was pretty enjoyable besides like, like just, violence against women kind of thing. But there's some parts during the Christmas party was a really there's like in the book it's really good. He basically his girlfriend's there and she's like messing with him and like like let's get married and oh I have this baby pig and like all this stuff and like in the book he doesn't really give a shit about the party at all. And he wants to go to a club instead. So he literally brings her away from her own party to go to a club. And it's like, it's just, there's some like, I think there's some really cool things from the book that I'd like to see translated into like a modern movie. But I don't know. I feel like if they did, I feel like they should just go the extra mile and just make it like really effed up.
You think so? I agree.
I feel like they should. I don't want to watch something. If it's controversial, I think it'll be a good movie.
Okay.
In the honest, I know that sounds crazy, but I think it'll be good.
I agree. It's going to be very interesting to see because American Psycho is very big culture wise on the internet now, and he's seen as a Sigma, a Giga Chad. He's seen as like a really intelligent, smart guy who's, people who haven't seen the movie are like, I look up and worship and idolize this guy. So it'll be very interesting to see those people's reactions to a remake that I think honestly will probably make it seem, it'll probably make it a little bit more obvious you're not supposed to agree with this guy. Especially if they're adapting stuff from the book.
Yeah, the book is really just like, oh, hey, we're at this dinner place tonight. And he's just sitting there talking to people. And there's like a longer conversation at the beginning when he's, saying like, we need to fix foreign relations and terrorism, and he's just saying a bunch of bullshit. I love because that scene. He's just trying to look smart. But there's like two goth people at the table, just there.
Yeah.
And in the book, they have like conversations about like, oh, your music sucks, and like yada yada yada, and like, and it's just like, it's. I feel like
I wish that was in the movie.
Okay.
I would love to see.
They really make fun of them, and then they make fun of each other, and just like it's just like different dinner conversations that just last for a really long ass time before he, flips out and starts, doing stuff on his own. And so, those conversations have like they got a lot to say about the 70s, but I feel like maybe there could be like a modern, well, maybe they should stay in the 70s. Maybe we should stay in the 70s.
I think so.
Yeah.
Unless you make him an influencer.
I think it'll be good.
In which case,
maybe.
Possibly interesting. Possibly.
Make him FouseyTube, dude. Yep. That's all I'm asking.
Make him a prank YouTuber.
Yes.
Okay, that would have been good biting satire like a decade ago. Now.
No, it's still just as relevant. Think about the kick streamers and all of them in the hype houses, and I don't know. I don't think he's gonna go for that.
I don't think they're gonna go that route. That is something I would like to see though. A new take on American Psycho.
I would
maybe
too.
Not even like a new take like American Psycho in name, but just a dark comedy in the style of that.
Yeah. I think it would be great.
Influencers in modern culture, because it is.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to see an opinion by, like, just anyone on Kick one more time on my For You page on Twitter, I'm gonna lose it.
Logan Paul, like, well, Nope is a real nothing burger of a movie.
That is one of the best tweets ever. Him not understanding Nope when he filmed the dead body, and the whole point of the movie is about... Okay, I gotta remember if I phrase it correctly. It's like about exploitation of like, not really trauma, but like, what's the word of like atrocities to make money. That's the whole point of Nope, which is what Logan Paul did with the Suicide Forest incident.
He's a big ass hypocrite,
and he didn't understand the movie. It's great. It writes itself.
He's a big lughead.
It's great. But yeah.
It really does.
I think that's all we have to say about American Psycho and the remake possibilities.
Yeah. True.
Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad.
Last time I had my hopes up for Joker, we got a dog doo-doo movie, so I'm not gonna keep my hopes up at all.
It wasn't that bad. It is kind of sour and in my mind. It is maybe going to drop down to a 5, but
I don't think
it's not terrible.
Well, honestly, the more I've thought about it, Jackson, the more I've hated it.
Okay, all right.
Cause all
right. Next episode recommendation:
we'll move...
Joker 2.
I'll say this real quick, and then we can move
pivot,
on. But
okay.
So what I liked about Joker was the ending, because I understood the ending in like a weird way. I was like, okay, this is a cool little thing, It's like the Joker is an idea. I like that. And it's swapping to another person. He was battling with like, do I even like this other side of me this whole time, kind of thing. But when I think about it like as a movie, it's just horrible. I just hate it.
I don't mind it. I think it's an interesting direction to take that character.
Yeah.
Whatever. Look, whenever we rewatch that movie a decade from now, on episode 138, okay? Then it's going to go crazy. The arguments, it's going to be wild. Expect a 3-hour analysis breakdown of Joker 2,
Why I hate the Joker.
Filet of Doo-Doo.
Filet of doo-doo.
So I guess let's move on to American Psycho 2. I guess we should give ratings for American Psycho 1. I think 9 out of 10.
Oh! You know what? That's pretty brave. I was thinking 9 out of 10 too, because last time I watched it, it was a solid 8.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it a lot. I think I really do. I really do think it would bump up to a 9 for me.
Yeah. I feel the same.
It's not bad at all.
It's great. So I guess onto the
They just don't get it.
onto the dud of the episode. American Psycho 2 All American Girl. Is that the title?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's released like 2 years after American Psycho.
Yep.
It had no relation to the first film. During production, I guess they were like, what's a movie about serial killers that's come out recently? Because no one's going to watch this. This movie's so terrible, no one will watch it. Quick, make it a sequel to American Psycho.
Yeah.
And
I see people like the movie say, this wasn't even it wasn't even going to be an American Psycho movie.
Oh, they
you
use
guys
that
just
as a
don't like
defense?
Fun. Yes,
okay.
That is like the biggest cope I've heard in my life.
It is.
Because like even if you take the American Psycho stuff out of it, it's not a good movie.
If you take,
it's not even fun.
If you take the American Psycho scenes out of this movie, like the 2 scenes that link it to American Psycho, no one would talk about this movie. It would be forgotten. No one would ever hear about this movie ever. The only reason this movie's talked about in any capacity at all is because it's just such a confusing sequel.
Yeah.
Because the first movie, it didn't do well at the box office when it came out, and it didn't do well critically. And it kind of just gained like a cult status over time. So it wasn't a mega hit. So it's a very confusing like, oh, why a sequel to this of all things? And why like 2 years later, Like, this isn't like Jingle All the Way 2 with Larry the Cable Guy. This is like, this is different. Because that makes sense. It's like 20 years later, you can get the nostalgia, get popular guy with one joke, and you go, okay, now we just remake the same movie again. But this time Larry the Cable Guy.
They were trying to ride off the wave of a movie that wasn't that successful.
Yeah, 2 years after it happened. Mm-hmm. It's like if they, it's like if they sunk $200 million into Joker 3 and it came out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I guess where to even start with this movie?
Okay, so I can do this.
Okay, I hope you can.
So we got the All-American Girl.
Yeah.
And she's going to a college.
You've already missed something. You've missed the opening scene, which is the funniest scene in the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, I try to not think about that, but basically, when she was a little girl, she was kidnapped by Patrick Bateman.
No. You're already messing it up.
And her and her babysitter.
No, they weren't kidnapped. Her babysitter went there willingly. Her babysitter wanted to go on a date with Patrick Bateman.
Well, listen. This whole movie has slipped my mind. Okay. I got this. So she kills Patrick Bateman just willy nilly
with like a steak knife,
and swears her. Yeah, I think it's some ice pick, dude. It's her weapon of choice. Even though in the poster she has a sickle for some reason that she never uses. But anyways. Oh
yeah, doesn't she have that? Okay, wait. Sidetrack again. Doesn't she have that same? Does she have the same ice pick she killed Patrick Bateman with on her nightstand?
Yes.
Okay, that is the same. I was like, that murder weapon looks similar, but I'm not sure.
Yes,
it is the same thing.
She killed him with a fudging ice pick,
and she kept it for a decade.
Anyways, she swears that she's going to go to the FBI and kill serial killers, so that they don't kill anybody else or something like that.
She's going to become a serial killer to kill serial killers.
Yes. And oh my god.
So what happens next? What are next?
So she goes to, so basically she's in college, she's a cool girl, they're playing cool music. I think she like catches a football and they're like, wow, she's so freaking awesome.
I don't remember this
and
at
then
all.
she goes to class. Well, it's like there's so many scenes where she's just in her own head like, yeah, so that happened. I go to this college and I'm just a crazy girl and yeah, I killed somebody.
I guess let's preface this. I watched this movie about an hour ago now, and you watched it when?
I watched it a week
ago. So we're both pretty fuzzy on this. It's
you forget like instantly. But oh my, okay. So she goes to class and she really wants her like this her professor's like assistant position because it gives her a better shot into going into the FBI.
Yeah, she wants to go to Quantico.
And so all of these, there's like a bunch of students in there that are aiming for the same thing.
Yes.
And of course she's like in her head like, yeah, this is Richard and he wants it. He wants this job like I do, but
I'm smarter than him.
I'm smarter and I'm better. Yeah. And so I honestly don't remember. Some chick has some like affair with him in the class, and it's like super obvious, and I don't know how people don't pick up on it because like everyone leaves the class and he walks up straight to her, gives her a necklace.
It's because everyone's having an affair with him. Remember the scene at the party where he has like an entourage of women around him? There's like 12 of them. Like there's like 12 of them on the stairs talking to him, and I was like, that's a comically large amount of people to be talking to him.
I didn't even. Oh well, true.
It would be better if it was like 3.
I thought it was
that
just
would be more
girls.
believable.
I thought it was more girls like going up to him, being like, "Can I have that TA job?
Okay.
Can I get that TA job?" Or like something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well.
So let me think. There was that.
Yeah, that happened.
Girl having an affair with teacher.
We haven't even talked about the first murder yet.
She also rooms with her.
Well, we have talked about.
I know.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
So
yeah, go.
She is becoming a serial killer to kill serial killers, and in the process kills like 3 innocent people and then like 2 guys that maybe deserved it. So she ain't got the best like
2 guys
KDA here. She ain't got the best like hit ratio when it comes to like killing the right guys.
She don't
first
like at all.
Murder in the movie is the counselor or something is like, I don't think you should be the TA. You're a freshman still. We don't allow that on campus. So
you have to be. You can't have the TA position and be a sophomore or something.
Or a freshman. You have to be a sophomore or higher. And then she's like, okay. And then she's walking away. She's like, I'm gonna kill her. And then she sneaks into her home and puts her cat in the microwave.
Well, no, Jackson. What? It's not her that kills him. It's the dude.
What are you talking about?
You know the dude that like goes up to her and is like, "Hey, let's go to dinner. I need to talk to you about something."
No. We see her kill her with her like best teacher 1997 thing, because in the mirror of that you can see her reflection.
Well, listen. The guy.
Yeah.
He also like right before she has that scene with her, the guy comes out and he's like, "Damn, I hate this bitch. I'm gonna."
The dialogue is so good.
I just kill her.
Yeah, it is the worst delivery.
I just kill her.
It is the worst delivery.
He definitely killed her.
No,
he definitely killed her.
No, she put it in his head.
No, he definitely killed her.
She put it in his head, or he put it in her head.
No, he definitely killed her. I picked up on that.
It's her in the movie.
It doesn't even show. It doesn't even show. It doesn't even show who kills this lady. So it has to be him.
Viewer, watch the first 20 minutes of American Psycho 2 and then come back to this video.
And tell me I'm right.
And tell me
I'm right.
in the comments that I am in fact correct.
Anyways,
so then
there's a guy.
Then she kills the guy
I
that
think
was
I
angry
introduced him
because his cousin or something hacked into the mainframe, his own words, and changed his grade.
What?
Did you not pick up on that?
No, the only thing I picked up on is the guy like goes to her. They go like
that's why he's at the counselor.
Let's go have a dinner.
He's with the counselor because his grades are so low, And he's like,
Oh.
my brother hacked into the mainframe, and I'm like, what? What? Who is
Oh.
this?
Oh.
He's never mentioned again.
Well, yeah, he don't really do much.
Yeah.
But
But then there's
yeah.
a scene where he's like, come on, I won't take no for an answer. Let's go for a date. I won't take no for an answer. Come on, come on. And you're like, okay, this guy's gonna get murdered. And then they go have dinner. And then
he tries to bribe her with like
$1 million.
some like
7 figures.
a lot of money that I would have taken.
I would have taken,
like,
yeah.
for a TA position.
Yeah.
Like your GPA is already like 1 billion. Like you don't need the TA position like you think you do.
Yeah.
I don't even think she knows why she wants the TA position.
It's to stroke her own ego. Because she's crazy. Just like Patrick Bateman.
I mean, I guess. Well, every single time somebody's like, yeah, you can't get this position. You don't deserve it. She's like, what? It's all a part of my plan. Everything is going in order. I don't know.
So, we haven't even mentioned how she is the worst murderer of all time yet. She doesn't wear gloves. She leaves fingerprints all over the place. She leaves direct pieces of evidence. There are multiple witnesses throughout the movie.
She hides people in her closet.
Yes.
What?
For multiple days.
I thought there's like college dorm inspectors in college for like every month.
Well, it doesn't even look like
And
she's in college. It looks like she's living in a jail cell. Did you see the walls? It's like brick and mortar.
Have you been to a dorm room? They are jail cells. The walls are just brick and they aren't great.
Okay, but this looks like elementary school wall where it's like we just put actual cinder blocks and then we just painted them white. Like it's not even anything. It looks terrible, and it's also in this weird circular. Like the dorms are in a circle.
In a circle. I thought the hallway just bent.
No, because it bends on multiple sides, so it has to be in a circle. That's what I'm assuming.
I don't even know. When they just show the hallway,
or it's like
I'm
a half
just
pipe
okay,
or something.
I don't even know.
Look, this movie ain't great. I'm not gonna. Whatever. Who cares? So,
anyways, where were we?
She takes the guy back to her dorm room, and then he's like, "Oh no, I ain't got a condom," and she's like, "Oh, I'll go get one," and then go ask her friend for a condom, and then just kills the guy.
And it's like a thing where she's like, make yourself comfortable. And he gets on the bed, and then there's like a tarp.
Yeah.
And he's like, uh-oh. And then, he gets murdered. And it plays like some horrible music.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about the soundtrack yet.
Horrible music. The soundtrack in this movie is so horrible. Like she'll be strangling or murdering somebody, and it's some rinky-dink beat. I can't even begin to describe it. It's just so bad.
Viewer, just look up on YouTube one of the death scenes and you'll know what we're talking about. Or just look up American Psycho 2 OST and give them a listen. I don't know. I have no idea.
I might have to favorite some of that because there was one song where she was spying on somebody, and it was like some Scooby-Doo weird music. It was just like doo, 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 doo. It sounds. You know what? I cracked the code, Jackson. It sounds like Home Alone music.
It might just be.
I think it just is.
Because I think that's Lionsgate as well, so they probably literally just copy pasted the same song.
It sounds just like some silly Home Alone a little bit of tension but lots of goofs.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's like she's just murdering somebody. And I'm like
Alright, so she kills him, and I wanted to mention that because she goes and she asks her friend for a condom, and then she murders him. And later in the movie, it's mentioned this friend goes, after it's been revealed to the whole campus, or not even the whole, but after it's been revealed to her friend group that this person that they know is all these people know is dead, they're like, So wait, weren't you the last guy that saw him? Yeah, but we had dinner and then he left after that. But didn't you come get a condom from me? And I'm like, this is the worst alibi of all time. This is actually, you're beyond stupid. How have you not been caught before?
But it's all part of her plan.
Don't worry, guys. She's better than Dahmer. She's better than
Did
Patrick
she really
Bateman.
leave to get the? So she actually left to get a condom just to kill him?
Yeah. She actually left the room in that scene because the character.
I know she did, but like.
Yes, she went and got a condom because the character
actually went to go.
But you asked me for a condom.
I can't believe it. What?
Yeah.
Why did she even go get the condom?
And it's mentioned like 8 scenes later. I had to double take. I had to rewind the movie.
I forgot. So
yeah, I'm not shocked. I'll forget this movie tomorrow. I won't remember anything.
And then I think we want to skip a few, and she meets her like psychologist.
Yeah.
And the psychologist is just a dude. And I guess he's lived there for like a majority of his life or whatever county or state they're in, whatever university.
Yeah.
And she's just like, she's basically just like giving him red flags about like, yeah, I'm going to get this position. What if you don't? Well, that's not going to happen, you see. And she's just sitting there like just admitting that she murders people. And he's just like, well, I guess I'll see you next week.
The first thing he does is pick up the phone, calls the professor. I don't mean to alarm you, but one of your students is evil. And then he's like, doesn't this break violations? Like that's his first thought.
Not about his life or anything.
No.
He's just shouldn't you not be telling me this, therapist? Come on, man. I'm currently gangbanging 30 college girls who are trying to get the TA position. Okay, I'm a little busy.
Yeah, it's a okay. So skip a few again because nothing important happens. She kills the it's revealed that there's a guy. The professor is going to give the TA position to this girl who is like our main character's best friend.
Are they?
I think they're. Well, she thinks the blonde thinks they're best friends because she's dumb and stupid. But the girl, the main character, she's using it for her own gain.
Oh, okay, yeah. How it's like said is like she kills. I think she kills like another student.
Oh
right?
yeah, she kills the random guy.
Black dude.
There's some random
she
guy
kills the random
in the
black
library.
Dude.
No witnesses, by the way.
Kills him in the library.
Broad daylight.
And then
he actually screams whenever he gets killed. No witnesses.
Yeah, no witnesses.
No security cams. No nothing.
She was wearing the cool black hoodie that concealed her face, so nobody knew.
Yeah.
And then, I think she goes to some party that the guy is at, and at that party, her roommate that is having the affair is like, yeah, so he said I was going to get the TA position.
Yeah.
She has like, and I think that's when I don't know if they added that scene because I think they were oddly trying to make it like American Psycho-esque, where like zooms in on her face and she's like, no, this can't be kind of moment. But like,
yeah, because it's all dubbed over.
It's sauceless.
Yeah,
it's sauceless, and I don't care.
Wait, what do you mean you don't care? You didn't think it was good?
I don't. And then I think skip a few, she just hangs her in the dorm room and then puts a note on her.
It says you didn't love me enough.
You didn't love me enough.
I remember something.
I'm trying to remember.
I remember something about that scene. No, it is so funny because it is mentioned like during her like zoom into face shot. It just hard cuts to that girl like dead in the foreground in the next scene, and I literally laughed so hard. I thought my like streaming service messed up or it skipped 30 seconds or I'm like it just hard cuts to her dead, and I'm like I don't. Maybe that was trying to be like American Psycho and it was trying to be funny, but I don't. Given the rest of the movie, I don't think so.
Work. It's not really. It's not funny with the kills. It's not.
I disagree
because she kills somebody. I completely forgot who it was, but she already whenever she killed this person. No, it might have been the dude that she killed in the library, and she was dragging him out like at nighttime. I don't know how she did this, but she was dragging this dude like down a staircase and like to a river or something, and she's like just talking in her head like, I seriously need to get therapy, don't I?
Yes,
and I'm just like, yes.
I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
It's just that's the stuff that makes the kills just. It's the talking in the head that like drives me insane. Because she'll just describe to you something that just happened, and then like hit some witty remark about how she's crazy, and I'm just like, bro,
all right,
chill it.
We got to get to the best bit of the movie, the last act.
Okay.
So
the last act. Let's
go. She's killed her number one target, and so she somehow. The therapist figures this out through a voice call,
but
it's like a big misunderstanding. And so she goes to kill the teacher assistant. Or, sorry, the teacher.
Okay, yeah. You're on it.
The
teacher.
Because the teacher, he comes back, he finds out that the girl he's been banging on the side is dead, and he's like, I'm not...
He's all distraught.
I'm just dropping it, dude. I'm not... There's not going to be another teacher assistant.
And he call him the therapist, and he like... I really did love her.
And the therapist thinks he's talking about the main character, but the what's his name? Bobby? Is that the guy? The professor or whatever? Bobby?
I don't know his name, dude.
I
don't know anybody's name in this movie.
Bobby thinks...
We'll just call the girl American Psycho.
I couldn't remember her name, so I just kept calling her the girl. I didn't remember her name.
I've been calling her the girl, too.
Well, I guess we'll reveal that later. So it's a big misunderstanding. The professor and the therapist are talking about two different people, and the American Psycho goes to Bobby's house, and he's losing his mind. He's like, "Why are you here?" And she's like, "I just want that teacher's assistant." He's like, "I'm not doing that." And she's like, "Oh yeah." And then she starts like flirting with him. And then
she's wearing the necklace that he gave to the dead girl that she killed.
Yeah. And so he's like freaking out. And then American Psycho, he proceeds to open the window and then blow him a kiss, and he blows out of the window and falls down 2 stories from his house and dies.
Well, listen, Jackson, he was trembling with fear because it all comes together. It's a full circle moment. This is an amazing revelation in the movie. It is.
It's my favorite scene.
So listen. The girl
American
the
Psycho.
girl that went to OG American Psycho.
Yes.
Was his girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I forgot what her name was.
It doesn't matter.
I remember.
But she was with him. The babysitter was actually fucking with Bobby.
Yeah, the babysitter was Bobby's wife, who was cheating on him or was going to cheat on him with Patrick Bateman until Patrick Bateman killed her. Why did she drag the person she's babysitting to a date with? What? Okay, whatever. Who cares?
It don't matter. She was a bad babysitter.
Yep.
And therefore, Bobby, although he already did like a billion horrible other things, he deserves it right now, and he's trembling.
Yep. And then he gets blown out the window. I mean, you would think he got hit with a stick of dynamite the way he falls out, but like. It is comical how he flies out of that window. It is hilarious. It's like a Home Alone prop bit. It's really good. It's like a fake dummy falling out.
Then after that, she puts him. All American Girl puts him in the car, and is I don't know her plan. Like her plan Is fucking
Okay,
stupid.
her plan is to drive him around at max speed so that she gets pulled over by the cop.
Get caught by a campus
that she
officer.
kills an officer that no one reports and no one mentions. They go to the police officer later, and they're like, they never mention the fact that there's a dead cop that was murdered in the streets around the campus. We forgot
about the parents visiting. Does the parents visiting matter?
Yes. No.
It does?
Okay, so
I don't think it matters.
She takes the body of Bobby into her apartment and then puts him in the closet. And then
no, I think we're missing something.
Days
I don't think he was
passed.
in the closet.
No, he was in the closet.
Really?
His skeleton is there. Days have passed.
Well, I thought like during the ending he was just in the car with her while she was driving.
No, she puts him in the car again, I think. Oh no, wait, no, you're right. He's not a skeleton.
I think we missed the parents thing.
Well, no, that's not. Who is in the closet then?
Just the other people that she killed?
No, but there's just one. What? Who is that?
I don't know.
How long has that body been in there?
I don't know.
Was that the guy that she killed that asked for the condom?
Maybe.
Is that the guy? Maybe. I'm guessing.
I don't know.
His body been there a bit.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters.
There's flies all around, and the dad comes to visit her at college, and he's like, "Man, it smells terrible in here." And she's like, "Yeah, it's just." He says, "It smells like death in here," and then she goes, "Yeah, it's the maintenance. It's messed up. The toilet broke." And he's like, "Okay." And then they go out and eat, and then they see the therapist, and the therapist thinks that she's dead. Or the therapist thinks she's dead, but she's not. And then the therapist goes to the police department. He's like, well, "Show me your missing persons report records." And then they look, and he goes, "Wait, this American...
These are all linked to her?
This lady, I don't remember her name.
The All-American Girl?
American Psycho is not who she says she is. And she, killed her roommate or something and took over her, alias and her name.
Mm-hmm.
And the police didn't check in on this any further. Hey, we got a missing persons report for this person. Oh, yeah, that's me.
Nah, whatever.
Oh, you look kind of different than your photo. Do you have ID? No. Okay, well, we'll just go. It's fine.
Yeah, sure.
And then they just leave?
Well, no, right after that, they I think we jump in time for when she kills the officer that caught her driving away from campus.
Yeah.
And that's when the therapist psychologist guy is like, "Yeah, cops, we need to tail her now."
Yeah.
And so they I think she alerts the authorities right after she kills that guy on campus, so they start chasing at her.
Okay.
And they shoot and then they're driving down the road, and
I thought that's a different night though, because she kills Bobby in one scene, and then the whole thing with her parents happens. So was the whole thing with her parents a flashback, or did she just have Bobby in her car decomposing for a day?
Probably. I don't remember the movie. It's been a week, so I know that the parents visiting and her talking to the therapist was a thing that happened. I don't think it matters though. This movie's a nothing burger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, she goes 60 and a 35 and alerts every single cop in the radius.
Mm-hmm.
And then she throws his body in the river or something. Or no, she throws Bobby's body on a park bench so that all of the cops can go look at it. And then she has cleverly hidden her car somewhere on the road where the cops didn't notice it, and then she proceeds to crank the car and then drive it full blast off of the ridge into the lake.
I thought what happened is that he was in the car the whole time, and she just pulled over for the cops. They got out the car ready to pull her over, and then she just drove again.
Oh yeah, that does happen.
And then
when
they chase her that time, she just launches herself off a bridge.
That's how they...
for no reason.
No. She loses them because she's like, "Okay, I'm going to slow down." And they're like, "What's happening?" And then she drives away and they're like, "We lost her." And then they find his body.
Dang it.
They find Bobby's body on the bench, and they're like, well,
Oh.
where's American Psycho? And then, like a horror movie villain, she comes back with the car and just, like Madam Web, she tries to hit him with the car.
Oh, okay. Maybe?
I
don't remember.
think that's what happens. And then the car blows up.
She just, for some reason, she just fucking launches herself off a bridge and blows up the car in the river.
Look, she was going to take
And
those
they
two
just look at
officers
her
and
like,
that one
"Dang."
therapist with her, okay?
She's dead.
Okay, so 2
All
years
right,
later.
I think, yeah.
2 years later, at
2 years
Quantico,
later.
therapist is now head of the FBI or something for some reason. He's now really important for no reason.
He's important because he witnessed the American Psycho. 1 in a million.
Okay, did they give, like, the one person that survived Ted Bundy, like, immediate access to the FBI?
Yes.
Did they?
No.
I was about to say, I'm willing to eat my words here if that's true. That's kind of crazy.
No. But yeah, I think he's at the college. He's like saying a bunch of stuff, and he's like,
I don't think he's at the college. I think he's like
She
at the
killed-
Pentagon. They're at the FBI.
I thought it was like the classes.
No,
like the
because
FBI
they're like,
class.
that's agent. Like, they're all agents at this point.
No, wait. Okay, yeah. But they still have to go to school, even if they're
That's
agents.
true. They're at FBI school. They're not at...
They're in FBI.
They're
school.
not at whatever
in the cool
community
place.
college William
They've made
Shatner
it.
was teaching at.
I forget exactly what he says because it's so
One
funny.
in a million.
He's just
An
1
all-American
in a
girl.
million. She truly.
They name drop.
She just-
They name drop the title of the movie.
She was really 1 in a million.
They're like,
and,
she's more cunning than
even though
Patrick
she killed
Bateman.
all these people,
She's cooler than this guy. She's stronger than this guy. She's the best serial killer ever. And I wish I could
Stronger,
have picked her brain
better.
more.
faster. I wish when we were in our therapy sessions, I could have understood her.
Yeah.
You know. All right, guys, book signings, and everyone walks up, and they're getting their book signed, and he's signing them, and then he looks over, and he gets the name of the TA from forever ago, the very first one.
Yep.
And he looks up, and he's like, "What? This can't be." And it's truly the 1 in the million.
American Psycho.
American Psycho!
American Psycho. She's alive.
It's American Psycho, and she's alive. And then she walks off, and they play some We Fit music
Yeah.
that something.
She teleported out of the way of the blast radius, and she's watching because
She's secretly.
at the end of the movie you see like a flashback to her just like watching the burning car, like
While the cops are like inspecting it.
yeah, and the firemen are there like putting out the fire, and she's watching for maybe 3 feet away, like in a bush, like you couldn't have gone further back, really. And no other cop could have noticed this, like, really? But, yeah, movie sucks.
I have the full script of the movie.
Yeah?
On this website. So let me see.
See the final line? Or one of the final lines?
Yeah. Let me see. Oh my gosh. This website needs me to allow ads. Okay. Okay, you know what? I give up.
Alright,
I give
yeah,
up
who
already.
cares? It's not worth American Psycho 2.
Actually, I found it.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. In the end, I did put Dr. Daniels in a bit of a pickle. But you have to you have got to give to take. He gets his national bestseller, which is ever so flawed. I wonder how he sleeps at night, knowing I still walk the streets. Me? I need for him to know. What's the point of pulling off the perfect set of murders to realize my dream if there isn't someone alive who knows? It would be as if I'd done nothing at all. So her murders were all part of her plan.
Yep.
It was perfect.
Yep, like Eisen.
Everything in the movie was all a part of the plan.
Could she have made a better movie?
Could she have not just ruthlessly killed like just some randoms because they were smart in the class?
Yeah.
You'll never know.
Yeah.
Because I think the first guy, he threatens her, and
What first guy?
I say he killed the first guy that I was arguing killed that lady and
Oh
put the cat in
yeah.
the microwave.
Well,
There were
he's just
some
trying to get in her
students that were
pants.
like,
He's just trying to get in her pants. He deserved it. He was kind of evil.
yeah. There's some people where you're like, oh yeah, they're so evil and effed up. But yeah, they deserve to get killed by American Psycho.
Yeah, but like the
But
girl,
is this random
the
dude?
the
like,
teacher's
part of your-
assistant, the random guy in the library that was smarter than her because he answered the lecture question correctly, and the counselor or whatever at school. Those are like three people that they're like objectively like fine from what we know. They're not like horrible, awful people. So you don't really. It just doesn't work. I don't like it. The movie sucks.
Yeah.
3 out of 10.
I don't know why people could defend it and say that it's a good movie.
I'll tell you why.
Like, so
Contrarian.
Yeah.
Why form an interesting opinion whenever you can just do the opposite of what everyone else says?
I mean, yeah.
And to those people, I would say, go rewatch Batman v Superman. Very funny movie. Lots to think about.
Lots to think about. Listen, I think some people can find something in a movie that others can.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, it can fit to their life, and they just understand it better than anyone else.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could. Personally,
I don't think this is one of those
I don't think
movies.
I can understand anything. It's not one of those movies. There's not like a big takeaway. It's really just like a big stream of like really stupid college murders. A girl talking in her head who's like too cool for school, and everything's part of her plan, and you get what you effing deserve, and she I don't know. It's kind of crazy. And I think that it being tied to American Psycho at all is so funny.
Yeah. I think it's a 3 out of 10 because the movie is bad, but I was entertained throughout for the most part. There were a few scenes that I was like, oh, come on, get on with it. But overall, I was on the edge of my seat at just how dumb it was going to get next. But there is like a 20-minute bit in the middle that really sucks. That's just like almost unwatchably bad.
Yeah, I guess it would be fun. I think it was because I was I couldn't. It took me 3 different viewings to finish it.
That's good.
It took me 3 different viewings because I just couldn't. I couldn't do it, and I remember, or I guess it was 2. But during like the final part of the movie where like things are like amping up and it's like a car chase and stuff, I was just like so uninterested, and I don't know. Maybe I'm sexist. Maybe that's just,
Yeah, I think so.
the big takeaway here.
I find it really funny
I just
that
hate women.
the first
I
movie
hate the
is
All-American Girl.
The first American Psycho is directed by a woman, and the sequel is directed by a man, and it's very funny to see.
I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, the first one's directed by a woman, and it's very funny because of how culture perceives that film now, and how the sequel is like how it's made. It's like, oh, this is like a very 2000s styled like it's like Mean Girls, but it's a serial killer or something stupid. Okay.
That's how people say it is? It's like Mean Girl, but with killers?
I guess. I don't know. Why the
I
soundtrack?
don't know. I feel like Mean Girls with killers would go like so much harder.
Well, yeah.
Because like,
Well, I'm not saying this is good.
That's not even what it is.
I mean, I don't even know.
It's such a weird movie. I don't know why it exists.
Everyone should see it at least once, and that's why we recommended it.
Yep. I think it's definitely something you got to witness with your own eyes.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, because I have seen this before and I've forgotten almost everything. So buy it on Blu-ray, watch it, wait 2 years, and then go back to it.
It's
and it's like a new movie
on eBay.
It's what on eBay?
It's nothing on eBay. I didn't look.
Well, I was about to say, I bet you I can find a listing right now for the DVD copy for cheap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess give our ratings and or give your rating. I gave mine.
I think it's a 2.
Okay. 1 star, 1/2 star lower than mine.
I don't. I didn't enjoy it that much. I think it's like a good like party of people movie because like you don't really have to pay attention. You can like point at the screen and laugh whenever something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but it's just
There's a lot better movies to watch like that with a group of people. Like
yeah,
anything with Neil
I just
Breen's
don't.
name on it.
Yeah, true. But I just don't like it. I really don't. It's like it's insulting that it's a sequel because it's so bad. Like at least in the first one, like I mean you don't have to love it, but it still has like at least something to say. This movie
Yeah.
has absolutely nothing to say. It literally ends and you're like, "Wow, it really was part of her big plan."
Yeah, it's
Her
good.
big plan.
All right.
It's
So,
great.
let me pull up my notes again. Oh, and by the way, I found a copy of American Psycho 1 and 2 on DVD for $10. I think that's a fair price. So,
Mhm.
you pick.
Put it on your shelf.
Yep. You get the first one, and you get the second one for like $2 or $3 extra bucks. Free shipping too. So, just stalk eBay.
Yep.
Just wait for a good deal.
I actually looked on eBay for a Blu-ray, and there was one. The first one that was listed was like $20.
Yeah.
For All American
Yeah.
Girl. I don't think I want that. No thanks.
But yeah, uh, Real Psychos must watch. Great film, 3 out of 10.
All psycho heads must watch.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention how bad the frame rate is. I thought the movie was broken. Why is it half the frame rate for like the first few minutes? Like all the flashbacks are at 12 FPS.
Well, it's an artistic choice, Jackson. Obviously, you didn't see the vision, so
I almost found another rip of this movie. I mean, I almost found another legally
If we don't
accessible version of this movie online somewhere because I thought my version on Tubi was bad.
listen. If the flashback isn't like 2 frames per second
In black and
orange,
white?
how are you gonna know it's gonna flashback?
But yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to mention. This movie sucks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the good movie.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's get on to the good movie.
So, Children of Men. I get full spoilers, by the way. I think before we get into spoilers, we would both recommend this movie. So go watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, I'd definitely check it out because I went into it having like no idea what was gonna happen. I actually, where I watched it, the banner or whatever for the movie didn't even have the woman in it,
Mm-hmm.
so I had no idea what like the concept was gonna be
Yeah,
or anything. Like on Letterboxd, he's holding the lady's girl a hand,
yeah,
and I would have gotten like some kind of gist from like the beginning. But just like going into it completely blind like that was probably like one of the best decisions I made watching
Yeah.
it. Just knowing absolutely nothing and just enjoying it. Because I think it's a masterpiece.
It's great.
It's a masterpiece.
It's phenomenal.
It gets 3 booms from me.
What is the spoiler-free way to describe or whatever? We're into spoilers now. Go watch the movie. So it's about this guy. I don't remember his name. The main character. I don't remember his name now.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
But
I can search this up.
yeah, please look this up because he's going to be mentioned a lot during the plot synopsis. And
Okay, so we got Theo.
Okay, yeah, that's right, Theo. And
Theo Farron.
it's the first bit of the movie is kind of just his like normal life in this world, where all women are now infertile, so they can't give birth. So it's essentially everyone is just like every human on the planet is kind of like realized they're all just going to die a slow death, and there's no point in going on.
They're living their final days.
Yeah.
I think the very first scene, the youngest person on Earth was shot because he refused to give an
He
autograph,
was stabbed.
and
Yeah,
he was, yeah, or something,
it's
and he
Britain.
was 18.
Yep.
So it just like it starts with like a really sour note like that,
Hmm.
and our poor man Theo can't give a damn.
And it's really great because that opening scene, like, it's it sets the tone of the movie so well. This, like, mundane, like, the streets are crowded, it's packed. He goes in here, you turn on the news, you see this horrible atrocity where it's like this guy
People
who
are
didn't
crying.
this kid who really didn't want to become a celebrity became a celebrity because he just so happened to be one of the last, like, children born, and then he was murdered because
Mhm.
some crazy guy killed him. It's like a really dull note to start
Mhm.
the movie on. And our main character doesn't care. He just walks out, like, stone faced, while all these other people are crying. And then as he
And then
walks away, giant
yeah.
explosion, people screaming, and then just fade to black, children of men. It's a
Mhm.
great opening scene. It's phenomenal.
Expert. Amazing.
And then from there, the movie is basically about him meeting these group of, like, terrorist people, and they meet someone there that has a baby, and it's about getting that baby to the Human Foundation so that they can
Mhm.
try and find a way to reverse this infertility.
And Theo was like dating the head of like that organization,
Oh well, they had
or
a they
was
had a kid.
married. They had a kid.
Yeah,
They was together. And I think her name was Julian.
I think so. But yeah, I guess one thing I want to mention. We're probably not going to go in order of plot here because there's a lot of plot and a lot of scenes. I think we'll just talk about
Mhm.
things we like.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
every line of this dialogue in this movie is important. It's kind of
Yeah.
astounding where it's like you're either learning something about the character or the world, or it just makes you like the characters more. There's no wasted moment in this movie. Every
Yeah.
camera shot is intentional and shows you something new. It's great.
Mhm.
Phenomenal. Um,
I think a lot of the words that they speak to just are they're so astounding and like inspirational, and they don't even like mean to be in like a way.
mhm.
It's just a character speaking their philosophy or just saying what's on their mind, but it's like it's so it's so deep in a way.
I love the scene where there's a scene after something happens, like a big action scene. They go to a place to kind of cool down for a bit, and with, like, this other faction of people. And there's a scene where it's like all of them in the middle of a room arguing about, okay, this woman, she is gonna have a baby, and they're all arguing about what to do. And then Theo is just in the corner, like, just make it public. We're wanted fugitives right now, but if you just make it public, people would be on our side and we could do something. And they immediately, like, just shut him down. They don't even concern
Mhm.
that idea. They want it to be like a component of this political revolution. And
Mhm.
I think that I mean, it's just a really interesting way to take that. And I think that's something that would happen. Like this.
It would, yeah.
People treat it as a miracle. I mean, in a way, it is. I mean, it's never really explained why she's not infected by the infertility, but they try and,
Mhm.
and take this and make it into some political gain to have a group of immigrants like rise up against the British, because this movie takes place in
Mhm.
2027 in, like, an alternate universe future where every other nation has fallen except for Britain. So you have all
Yeah.
these immigrants pooling in, and
Immigrants are like, hunted down.
yeah,
There's like billboards where it's like, "Hey, if you know an immigrant, tell your local officer." It's like stuff like
yeah,
that, and
it's like George Orwell's book 1984.
1984.
Yeah,
Yep.
but so they're not in a great spot. They're beaten and abused, and they're just kind of put in these camps, and so they want to, like, have a revolution with them. I guess I'm just kind of describing the plot now. Uh,
Mhm.
I just I don't, there's
I mean,
there's so much to
you
talk
you
about
lead
with
it,
this
and I'll
movie.
think, yeah, because I don't want to like jump ahead in somewhere in the movie.
I mean,
then,
we've already jumped all ahead. We've already jumped all around.
Okay.
So you just...
I think one line that I really loved.
Yeah.
He goes. Theo has this one friend named Jasper, and
Oh,
Jasper
yeah.
is like in his own. He's my favorite.
He's
character.
my favorite character too.
He lives in his own. Like that's low key how I want to be when I'm like 80. Like just some chill grandpa. I think he was a political
Cartoonist.
I think this is political cartoonist, which I think is one of the coolest things ever, because throughout history and like really any war, there's always political cartoonists, and there's always like graffiti on the walls saying stuff, and that movie is littered with that. It's like you'll see something that's like like it's so cool. And so Jasper is just this. He's just this chill dude, and I think his wife is like wheelchair bound.
Yeah, she's
and,
like comatose,
basically brain dead.
Brain
yeah,
dead.
But he still loves her and cares for her. That he's so chill. Anyways, like they get in rough water, so that's the first thing. That's the first place that Theo thinks to take the lady that he's supposed to be guarding. I want to figure out her name.
I can remember the name of the child. I cannot remember the name of her.
Key. Her name is Key.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when he's there, like initially they're just hanging out because it's just a chill place. Like it's literally the chillest place ever. But one line, it's so just blank. But her saying, she talks about her kid, and I don't remember all of it, but it ends with "I am alive," and it's just such a crazy. The line hit hard. I don't know why. It just really did.
I'll have to put that down in my notes for whenever I rewatch this movie, because I probably will rewatch this very, very soon because I just loved it.
Me too. Me too. I've been itching to. But yeah.
Oh yes. So we talked about dialogue. And the world building. You mentioned the graffiti. There's so much interesting stuff in the background to pick up on.
It says it shows the world and like the turmoil that like the people are facing in this war. Yeah. And yeah.
Oh, another line of dialogue I really liked, or like I don't know if it's a line of dialogue per se, but like a mention of something I really liked is they mentioned that I think it's Jasper that mentions it. He's like all this like the world started like in its downturn way before this infertility stuff happened. This was just like people realized, oh, there's nothing left to fight for. We're just going to kill each other. Like supposedly they were like dropping bombs on people and nations were at war with each other like way before this, like years before. And I always thought that was interesting because I always thought like, yeah, I mean, infertility would make people like rethink that kind of stuff and would probably make them go insane. Like you're the last generation on Earth. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. Another conversation that Jasper had, he was having it with Key, and I think Theo just walks in on it and listens, but he talks about I don't know if it was his baby or somebody else's, but their baby like dying during birth. And he talks about fate and chance.
That was
and it's just such an interesting conversation. And something I liked was the addition that made me love the movie was Key says something about like yin and yang, and he brings up like Paul McCartney and fudge. I hate this dude. Paul McCartney and John Lennon.
John Lennon, yeah.
for the yin and yang, and I believe that. I believe that. Paul McCartney on top, John Lennon on the bottom.
John Lennon.
We won't get into that. I could shit on John Lennon all day, but let's not get into it. But it was just such an interesting conversation. Jasper the Goat.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the soundtrack yet. It's amazing.
It's good.
Court of the Crimson King. You got some Pink Floyd in there.
Yes, that's how I knew I was gonna love the movie. Was in the Court of the Crimson King.
Yeah,
like I heard that and I was just this movie.
And that's also a great scene when he goes and visits his isn't it his brother? I think. Or
Oh, I don't know. I just knew he was associated with him because of government.
Yeah.
But doesn't he say he says something like, "How are you living all the way up here with like all this chaos surrounding you, and you know you're gonna die?" And he just says like,
You just look out and forget.
"I don't think about it."
Yeah, you just don't think about it.
It's just
crazy to think about.
I mean, it ties so much to real life.
Yeah.
It's so insane.
Yeah, this movie came out in 07.
You can't even like begin to imagine how many people have that mindset, especially with things that happen right now.
Yeah.
Like just I don't really care. I'm just going to live my life instead of, using their fortune to help others. You know?
Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
I want to talk about the action scenes, because this is a movie, it's a lot of talking, but when the action scenes do happen, it's some of the best filmed action scenes of all time. Mm-hmm. The first one, you got the scene in the car where it's Theo and Julian.
The camera?
Yes. The one shot.
The camera is able to just like give you the situation that they're in, like completely. You get a whole vision in your head even when the camera's not facing that way, because it's hectic. You don't know what's going on. It's one of those kind of things, and it's just so good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
As like the action like ramps up, especially towards the end, the camera becomes like a lot more like frantic. It's like in the first one, it's like spinning around from the center of the car, and you can tell everything that's going on. But like near the end, spoilers, they're like in an active war zone, and it's just like shaky cam following, like you
on the ground
are following this dude like through everything. It's spectacular.
Like one of my favorite bits of trivia from the movie is that there's in like the ending like war zone scene, there is a bit where like blood from like a squib gets on the camera, and that wasn't planned. They were going to cut the shot there, but they kept going because it added to like the realism of that moment. Yeah,
I noticed that too. That was really, really good.
Okay, I guess we'll just skip to that last scene. That whole last scene, man, it is that action scene. I guess it's not the last scene, but that whole, like, the last act of this movie, whenever they break into the immigration camp, and the people kind of the public learns of this baby, and they kind of start an uprising, and the daughter and the lady and her daughter are just like, we just got to get out. We got to get out of here. Mm-hmm. And Theo, he's going to do it. He's going to get them out of there. Like,
yeah. I think Theo literally gets shot.
Yeah.
And then he like stands up and brings her through. It's so powerful, because not only during that scene, there's like, it's still an active battle happening, but it dies down like within the building.
Yeah.
And even the opposing side that are raiding the building completely stop to let this lady through with her kid.
That makes me cry every time I watch this movie.
Oh, it does. I don't want to say it, but it's powerful.
The acting,
it's powerful.
The acting in that scene is so great, because you can see like all of the younger people that have never seen like a child in person are like scared of the baby. Yeah. And all of the older people are like crowding around, like trying to just look at it. Like it reinstills this like spark of hope.
They're being so gentle.
Yeah.
Yes. They're like the lady like touching the baby's foot as they pass.
Yeah.
And it's, oh my goodness, it's so great. It's so good.
It instills this spark of hope for literally seconds before they just start going to kill each other again. Like that's the craziest part is like, I thought about like, I bet that's happened in like tons of like real wars, and we just don't know that. There has been something that has like caused these two forces to go like, okay, don't do that. Don't.
Yeah,
okay,
just let them go.
Wait 30 seconds before you start bombing this building.
Yeah, because the whole movie, they're afraid of both sides,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just trying to get her to this coast.
Yeah.
And so, in the end, when it's just a complete it's a standstill almost, like just them at peace letting this person pass before
Yeah.
probably before they start shooting and killing each other
Oh
again.
no! Immediately after that, a
It's
grenade gets thrown into the building, and and the tank starts firing again. Like immediately after.
yeah, yeah. It's just it's so good. It's such a good movie.
I want
I
to.
think there was
Oh,
mentioning. I think there was mentioning of AI in the movie too.
was there?
Right?
I I think maybe it's like that guy is messing with that Rubik's Cube thing at the table.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
True. Probably. Maybe.
I don't know.
It's
I don't remember that being mentioned, but I think you could probably interpret that like
you
thing
could.
he's
Yeah.
playing that way.
It's just this. You got to watch it, viewer. You got to lock into this movie.
We have spoiled the movie, but it doesn't matter because it's that good. If you have not
really
watched
is.
it, you have to go watch it.
It's a marvel. I honestly it's probably in like my top 5.
Top 5. Wow.
Yeah, it really hit hard.
That's what we should, as a special episode one day. We should do like a top 10 ranking. We should go like in order of our top 10. And just like no recommendations that episode. We just talk about our 10 favorite movies. And just kind of like
so
give a
cool.
recommendation for each. To like the viewer.
Down.
I would be interested in that. That'd be cool. Because I've never done that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have my Letterboxd top 4, but I have never made like a top 5 of all time. Or like a top 10 of all time.
Yeah, top 10.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
So I think that would be fun to do in the future. But yeah. The cinematography in this movie is like astounding.
It's just amazing. I can't glaze the movie enough.
There's a scene where Theo and like the what's like the lady's name that's going with him, like the older lady for a bit. I don't remember her name.
Who's like a spiritualist lady. I don't know her name.
Oh, yes, her okay, mentioning her for a bit.
Her name.
It just reminded me of that scene where she's talking about like where she was the night that it started happening and like the infertility stuff kind of started and like what that was like working in a hospital. That's just great world building. It's so good. Every line of dialogue in this movie is just, I mean, we've said it like 3 times now, but it's incredible. And how much you can tell just from looking around. Oh, I forgot. The one line that stuck out to me is whenever they mention Theo's like previous relationship partner besides Julia or whatever her name is, Julian.
Yeah.
Where
I think it's Julia.
She's like a repenter or I can't remember what the other one is, but there's like a religious group that is like, we are, this is our penance. We have sinned too much, so God has taken away our rights to fertility.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like essentially like hoping he just like ends the world, I'm assuming. Yeah. And then there's this other group that believe it's not like a religious thing, but like they like flog themselves and they like beat themselves like over the fact that they can't produce children anymore.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, I think Jasper mentions that, and he goes, well, dating ain't what it used to be, huh? And I'm like, that just makes me so curious about this world, and, like, what is dating like now? That's so strange.
I haven't even thought about dating.
Yeah, what would you... Yeah, I mean, I'm watching this movie, and the whole thing, it takes place in England, but it looks like it's an active war zone. Mm. And I'm like, yeah, the last thing on my mind was like, well... how do these people date, Because, like, most people, they settle down, they have a family and a kid, but, like, with nothing to bind them, with nothing to keep the parents grounded, what's stopping some dude in his 40s from just going, I don't love you anymore and leaving, Like, I bet that's a lot more prevalent in this, like, universe. It really makes you think about a lot of things. It's great. Great movie.
Amazing.
But
one where I stood up and clapped and with tears rolling down my eyes in my own room.
And everyone stood up and clapped.
I did not. I didn't either, but...
It got a 10-minute standing ovation in your room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I showed this to a friend of ours recently, and he also thoroughly enjoyed the film. So, yeah, I think that's really all I've got to say on the movie, though. Um,
Yeah, I think that we said everything we loved about it. I think I can't think of
I
anything. I
can't.
want to rewatch
I
it
want to
now.
rewatch. Yeah, yeah. Action scene's good. Dialogue's good. The acting's pretty good. Um, yeah, it's great. I
Yeah,
guess we could talk about the ending. Um,
yeah.
where the main character, spoiler again, big spoiler, he gets shot and he dies like bleeding out on that boat. Which
Hmm.
again, I think that's also a very very powerful scene because this whole movie, you've had this constant violence and constant like noise going on. Like there's barely any time for like to just like
Hmm.
take a break and sit down and just talk about it. And like the one time it happens in this movie is like as the main character's like bleeding out, and it's
Hmm.
like a like they don't make it in time, and you think the boat isn't going to come back, and it's like, well, he's just going to die out there, and that girl and the daughter are just going to be just stranded out there unless they want to go back to like the immigrant camp that's now a war zone. But then the
Hmm.
ship comes back, and then the movie cuts. And I love that they don't. There's no thing where it's like, oh, we got the baby, we can save everybody now, and everything. Like it's
Hmm.
just it ends with that cut to black, children of men, and then you hear kids laughing, and it's like that's another thing where it's
Hmm.
like ever since I've watched this movie, I will never, sometimes, kids like in public, they kind of get on your nerves with how loud they are.
Yeah,
But this is one of those things like
yeah.
watching this movie, I'm just like, man, it's just, it makes you rethink those kind of things. Makes you,
Mm,
makes you think about the things in life that you take
yeah.
for granted.
Yep.
It's a great movie. 10 out of 10
It
must
is.
watch.
10 out of 10 must watch.
Same director as Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
I didn't even know.
Also a 10 out of 10
But
must watch.
okay.
Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban's good. But I guess this episode has gone on long.
Hmm.
I thought these were going to be an hour each. It's looking like we're getting to about the hour 45-minute mark on each of these episodes.
Yeah.
But let's go into recommendations. So, I believe I recommended the movie first last time. So, I would like you to recommend the movie first this time.
All right. So I have picked Ex Machina,
Oh, yes! That's such a
directed
great
by
pick!
Alex Garland.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to rewatch this movie. That's a great pick. Okay.
I have not seen it, so
and you don't
but
know anything,
I've been wanting
probably.
to, and I don't know anything.
go.
So
Oh,
we're gonna go
I
in
can't
blind,
wait.
baby.
I can't wait.
Is it like all I know is I see a robo bish.
Yep.
So is it gonna be like what is it?
American Psycho 2.
Oh, dang it.
You can't think of the movie now?
No, it's the really bad Android
Terminator
movie
3.
with
Lucy.
iRobot.
iRobot.
Is it like
It's
iRobot?
not like iRobot, no.
I had to like scratch my brain there, but
Okay.
okay.
So,
Well,
you know what? That's a bit of a shorter movie. That's on the shorter side. I think it's like an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes or so.
Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna recommend a longer movie because we got 2 weeks to watch them.
iRobot.
I'm gonna
Please
recommend.
be iRobot.
It is not.
kidding.
It is not gonna be iRobot.
All right.
It is a 1975 film directed by Stanley
Oh?
Kubrick.
Oh?
Barry Lyndon will be next episode's recommendation. So
Let's go.
yep, we got
Yep.
two great movies. I'll be very interested to hear you talk about both of them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty excited.
I think that's a pretty good second episode.
I think so too. I had a lot more to say than the first one,
Yeah.
even though I watched those like right out the gate.
Yeah.
But we're getting better. We're improving.
Yep.
Episode by episode. I can't wait to watch these movies.
Maybe the audio quality gets better as we go along. I don't know. I don't know what the audio quality is going to be like. Probably not great at the
Maybe
start.
I'll watch iRobot and Ex Machina.
Dude, are you recommending iRobot too? I'm down to watch iRobot as well.
Let's do iRobot too.
Okay, we're doing iRobot, Ex Machina, and Barry Lyndon. It's going to be
That way
like
we have like a little theme.
8 hours worth of movies.
That'll be easy. Too easy.
Too easy. Too easy for a true cinemaphile like me. Too easy. All right. So that's the end of the episode, y'all.
All right.
You guys, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for your support.
Have a blessed day.
You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.